How about them Cowboys?
Angry Cowboys fan, are you down to ride? Angry Cowboys fan, are you down to ride? Drop a like on the video, go ahead and subscribe.
What's going on, Cowboys Nation and Angry Cowboys fans around the world? Y'all know who it is. It's your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan, and I'm hoping each and every one of you in Cowboys Nation is having a fantastic Friday evening. You know your man is, of course. But after watching Skywalker Steel live broadcast this morning, he got me thinking about our head coach and Mike McCarthy. He also has me thinking about the slow starts of our Dallas Cowboys offense and how Mike McCarthy's first drive, the scheme, is not working to put points on the board for us first. So y'all, just rock with me as I give y'all my raw and uncut about our head coach and the upcoming matchup against the Detroit Lions. Get ready for the Angry Cowboys fans, raw and uncut.
Keeping it real. They keep it real. That's real.
Cowboys Nation. Everyone in Cowboys Nation that sees the Dallas Cowboys, they see that they struggle to move the ball in our opening series. Whether we win the coin toss and elect to receive the ball, or the other team defers until the half, our Dallas Cowboys usually go 3 and out during the first series. We have got to figure this out, Cowboys Nation, because our Dallas Cowboys, we've only scored a touchdown once during the opening drive of the entire season, and that was against the New York Giants. Any other scores during the first series, they've been a couple of field goals. We have got to start faster if we want to defeat the Detroit Lions this Sunday at AT&T Stadium. If we get the ball to open up the game and go 3 and out, it's a wasted drive, Cowboys Nation. It's as if the opposing team got the kickoff with just a little bit less time remaining in the first quarter. On top of that, opposing teams get the ball back to open up the second half. Not scoring during the opening drive puts us behind the 8 ball each and every time it happens, Cowboys Nation. The only way that it does it is if our defense is able to stop the opposing offense from scoring and we get the ball back. So Mike McCarthy, you're going to have to dial up something awesome against the Detroit Lions so that we can put points on the board on our first drive. If you take a look back, against the Browns, our Dallas Cowboys went 3 and out. Against the Saints, the Dallas Cowboys scored another field goal on the first drive. Against the Baltimore Ravens, the Dallas Cowboys went 3 and out during the first possession. Against the New York Giants, the Cowboys went, guess what? 3 and out during that game as well. Against the Pittsburgh Steelers, we scored a field goal during the opening drive. Another aspect of the game that we have to get better in is coming out of the half and not being able to score during the third quarter. We scored 10 against the Cleveland Browns, 3 against the Saints, 7 against the Ravens, 3 against the Giants, and none during the Pittsburgh Steelers game. Slow starts compounded with not being able to score the ball coming out of the half is a recipe for disaster when you're facing a team like the Detroit Lions, San Francisco 49ers, Tampa Bay Buccaneers, or the Philadelphia Eagles. It also puts a strain on the defensive side of the ball, a side of the ball that is littered with injuries. It needs all the help that it could get from the offense. So, Mike McCarthy, you have to come up with a game plan that will assure that the Dallas Cowboys are up on the scoreboard at the end of the first quarter while chewing up the time of possession. How do you stop a speedy offense? By limiting the time that they see the field. How do you do that? By establishing the run and sticking with it, Mike McCarthy. With 87 yards against the Pittsburgh Steelers defense, Rico Dowdle needs to be your legitimate RB1 and have the rest of the running backs in the running back room just follow him up. Allow Rico Dowdle to get into a rhythm so that we can open up the play action. I'd also like to see Rico Dowdle and Hunter Lipke get more involved in the screen plays. The screen pass to Hunter Lipke last game is what put us in the red zone. It's a very efficient play that could get us chunk yardage on any given drive, Cowboys Nation. And speaking of the offense, we're going to need the offensive and defensive lines to win their battles at the line of scrimmage. I worry about Terrence Steele matchup against Aiden Hutchinson, Cowboys Nation. I'm not going to lie to you. He was able to take care of him last year in the game against the Detroit Lions, but Aiden Hutchinson is on a mission this year. Still is going to need some help with Hutchinson. So chip blocks from the tight ends and the running backs to give Dak Prescott a little bit more time in the pocket. Some time so that our wide receivers can hit their marks and run their routes, get open. And speaking of the wide receivers, Aaron Glenn is going to scheme CeeDee Lamb right out of the game, which means Jalen Tolbert, Jake Ferguson, Kevontae Turpin, and whoever's going to be that wide receiver forward needs to continue the game that they had against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Make their defense respect the receivers out on the field. Also, if we're not running the play action, Mike McCarthy needs to realize that Dak Prescott has to get the ball out quick. The pocket's going to collapse. It's not going to stay there forever, Cowboys Nation. So, I want to see more drag routes. I want to see more quick slants, more shallow crossers. And Dak, don't be afraid to use your check down and be aware of the down and distance. Tolbert was amazing at getting past the sticks before executing that comeback route against the Pittsburgh Steelers. I want to see more of that. Also, the Detroit Lions defense is susceptible to the play action pass, something that Dak Prescott and the Dallas Cowboys offense is very good at. With 12 personnel, the Dallas Cowboys will be able to get some nice chunk plays to the receivers, plus it'll help in slowing down the Lions' defensive rushing attack. And the last thing I want to say about the offense is Mike McCarthy. Please use more damn motion. Please use more misdirect. Every time he calls a play that use motion, it's pretty much to check out if the defense is in man or zone. So use more misdirect, Mike. Use more orbit motions. Use more tight end motions to the outside. Use the jet motion with CeeDee Lamb and Kevontae Turpin. We got to keep the defense guessing, Mike McCarthy. You know that. How long you been a coach in the NFL? But on the defensive side of the ball, the Dallas Cowboys need to be alert. As much as the play action is successful for the Dallas Cowboys, it's the same for the Lions. During their loss to the Tampa Bay Buccaneers, a majority of their pass attempts was play action passes across the middle. Our linebackers need to have discipline and not bite on the run. That's where the play from our front four comes into question. If our defensive line can dominate the line of scrimmage and get some pressure on Jared Goff, it will help the linebacking core to be able to stay home just in case they perform a naked boot on the play action. Also, Jared Goff's not afraid to dink and dunk, something that every talking head picked on Dak Prescott for. 4-yard pass here, 4-yard pass to the tight end, a quick dump off to the running back, screen passes and the occasional bomb to Jamison Williams and Amon-Ra St. Brown, quick outs to Sam Laporta. Trayvon Diggs and DeRon Bland and Jordan Lewis, they're going to have their hands full, so they need to be ready to go to work on Sunday and not stop until the clocks hit 0. Also, I understand that we don't have our premier pass rushers in Micah Parsons and DeMarcus Lawrence, but this defense needs to be able to generate pressure. They can't give Jared Goff time in the pocket like they did with Daniel Jones and Justin Fields. If they do, Jared Goff will carve up our defense. So, our front four has to be aggressive. Be aggressive. But one thing that I hope that happens this week is Mike McCarthy going back and watching last year's game against the Detroit Lions and this year's game between the Detroit Lions and the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Against the Bucs, Aiden Hutchinson had 5 sacks on Baker Mayfield. The Detroit Lions front four can be a wrecking machine with the pressure up the middle. It seems as if their game plan was to play contain while blitzing up the middle to flush Baker Mayfield out of the pocket into Aiden Hutchinson's hands. Though we know that Dak Prescott's great while on the run, he's going to need maximum protection while in the pocket. So we're going to need Terrence Steele to tighten the hell up because he's going to have his hands full with Aiden Hutchinson. Also, with the offensive line, I think it's important for the Dallas Cowboys to start Tyler Guyton. Please start Tyler Guyton at left tackle. You don't want to kill this man's confidence and his morale by starting someone over him. Yes, he's a rookie, and he's going to take his rookie lumps if we want him to turn into the player that we want him to be, the player that he knows he can be. Keep him in the lineup, but allow him to rotate if need be. If he continues to get beat on the edge, then we might have to cross that road when we get there, but let him take his lumps. We would much rather have these growing pains now than toward the end of the season. But Cowboys Nation, I really think this is going to be a dogfight against the Detroit Lions. This is going to be a dogfight for the simple fact that the Detroit Lions is a high-flying offense, is a quick-moving offense. And right now, we have a lot of people that's out on the defensive side of the ball. We are relying on a lot of rookies to come in and stake their claim to their position, to make a name for themselves. And I pray to God that they can do it against the Detroit Lions, because if we can beat the Detroit Lions, we can beat anybody in the NFL. We have to be resilient in this game. We have to be resilient because it's at AT&T Stadium, and this year we have not got one win at AT&T Stadium. We cannot be dogs on the road, but kittens at home. We have a home to protect. We have to protect it against the Detroit Lions. We cannot allow the Detroit Lions to come in here and try to get revenge on the game that they said that they got robbed of last year. So I'm going to need Dak Prescott to continue to step up and be the leader of this team, the leader that was shown at the last minute of the Pittsburgh Steelers game, a leader that is resilient, that will dive on a fumble even if his career is in stake. I need CeeDee Lamb to be a potential decoy because they're going to put all of the pressure on you, CD. They are going to double you and sometimes triple you. They're going to use zone and then scheme the zone to be more on your side as opposed to Jalen Tolbert's side. They're going to leave Jalen Tolbert one-on-one with his matchup if they decide to go man. We need to be able to exploit that, Cowboys Nation, and I believe that Jalen Tolbert was able to exploit the Pittsburgh Steelers last week, and I hope that's something that can carry over into this week against the Detroit Lions. And with all that being said, we need our wide receivers to shine. We need Rico Dowdle to shine. We need this entire team plus the coaching staff to shine. We cannot drop another one. This will be 3 if we drop a home game to the Detroit Lions. We need this win, Cowboys Nation. And to keep it a buck, I don't want to put a score prediction down on it because I haven't put a score prediction down on a game, and it's kind of fared well for our Dallas Cowboys, being 3-2 right now. So I'm not going to put a score prediction on this game, but I will predict that the Dallas Cowboys will leave this game with a dub. So Cowboys Nation, I want to know how you feel about the upcoming matchup with the Detroit Lions. How did you feel about my breakdown? We're going to have our hands full, Cowboys Nation. Every talking head around the league is looking toward the Detroit Lions to represent the NFC in the Super Bowl this year. So we're going to have to bring the noise to AT&T Stadium. We are going to have to get a dub because it will be our first home win of the season. Something that the Dallas Cowboys fans deserve. This has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan. What did you guys think about my quick breakdown of the game that we got coming up against the Detroit Lions? How do you feel the Dallas Cowboys will fare against the Lions? Let's have a quick conversation about it in the comment section. If you're digging the content and want to help get it out to even more Dallas Cowboys fans, drop a like on the video and share it with your family and friends who are Cowboys fans. If you are DC for life and want to see a continuation of what we did to the Pittsburgh Steelers but make it more intensified by the Dallas Cowboys, hit that subscribe button. Hit the bell to be notified whenever I go live, release a video, podcast episode, or Madden 25 and College Football 25 gameplay. And also, if you're not following your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan, on the different social media platforms, I highly suggest you do so. So hit me up over on TikTok, X, Facebook, and Instagram so we can start going live on those platforms too. Get this classy Cowboys content to all of Cowboys Nation. But the next 2 games will show us where we rank amongst the top teams in the NFC. If we can get a win against the Detroit Lions going into the bye, I have an even stronger feeling about being able to defeat the San Francisco 49ers after the bye. So Mike McCarthy, I don't want to hear the team wasn't ready after this game. Make sure our guys are prepared to put up one hell of a fight. But this has been your man, the Angry Cowboys Fan, and I'm out. Dang, Angry Cowboys Fan. man. You done made it through the entire video. But if you want more content, you can definitely go to this video right here. Or if you want the latest episode of the Angry Cowboys Fan podcast, you can go right here. But whatever you do, like, share, and subscribe to the channel, but remain DC for life.